A la clase de español. So I'm Madison Joyner. I'm your child Spanish teacher this year. And just as a general contact information, there's my email and my extension. I'm available by either. Email is the fastest way to get me, but I know sometimes some conversations are just easier to have over the phone, a little bit quicker. So that's my extension right there. A little bit about me. I spend a lot of time with your kids, so I figured you guys might want to get to know a little bit about me. Um, just in my background. So I graduated College of DuPage 2015, then Elmhurst College in 2017. I'm currently enrolled in a master's program at Aurora University, where I am getting my master's in curriculum and instruction, and then getting certified in ESL and also becoming a learning behavior specialist. I am a fifth year teacher this year at Geneva and total. This is my first and only job. So I've done 3 study abroad trips, not with students, but as a student when I was in college, and I've taught levels 1, 2, and 2 honors, which is currently what I teach as well. So Spanish 2 versus 2 honors, like, is my child in the right spot for them to succeed? Some people may be thinking maybe my kid needs to level down, maybe my kid needs to be pushed a little bit more. And then I also want to talk about a little bit of the uniqueness of this year, which is, should my kid be in Spanish 1 again? So the classes in terms of the content that we teach are pretty much the same. 2 honors, we do a little bit more of a deeper dive into some of the grammar topics, maybe a little bit more of the application of the material, but we're definitely working on making sure that everybody is getting the same level and quality of education. So by the end of their high school experience, everybody leaves with the same opportunities to have been fluent, or at least literate in the 2 languages. So the reason I bring up Spanish 1 again is because of the uniqueness of the last 2 years. Last year, especially, when I was teaching Spanish 1 over hybrid and then sometimes remotely, it's very difficult. With level 1, they do need to be getting all of that Spanish in their head from their teacher, and getting that input from their head. So if you're feeling like your kid is super overwhelmed right now in level 2, because we are in the review chapter, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or have them reach out to me, and we can decide where's the best place for them to go. For me, the most important thing is that they're staying in the language. So whether that is back in level 1 or staying in level 2 or 2 honors, the worst thing that could happen is that they fall out of love with Spanish. So I want them in the right spot so they can be successful. Grading, gradebook codes and categories. So NHI means not handed in. It affects your grade as a 0 initially. So what that means is if I say homework is due on the Thursday, when I check it, if it's not in, I do put it in as NHI. And that can be turned in for 75% credit until the chapter test. So it's not, they can't turn in this chapter 0 stuff all the way when we're in chapter 7, but until the end of the chapter they can turn that in for 75% credit. Homework is generally graded on completion, so that's when it would appear as a 1.5 out of 2 points in the grade book. A P is a pending score. Again, it affects the grade as a 0, still expected to be turned in for full points. I usually only put those in for absences, or tests or quizzes if you were absent for one of those, because it affects your grade as the 0. It kind of shows you, gives them a kick in the butt to get into class and to retake or to take those initially. And then a 0, so students would earn 0 points. The only reason I include that in there is because sometimes I suffer from chunky finger syndrome. So if my fingers are touching the wrong button and I accidentally hit 0, that might be an accident. Usually is an accident. So just have them be vigilant on that. It can't hurt to check your grade and stay on top of it and make sure that we've got the same idea going on. In terms of retakes, I kind of mentioned those a little bit. We are letting students in Spanish 2 regular retake any test or quiz that's vocab or grammar. Vocab, we've decided on for semester 1. Semester 2 may be a different story. For my friends in 2 honors, we are retaking any grammar quiz. That starts in chapter 1 for my Spanish 2 honors kids. not this chapter being the review chapter. If you guys have any questions on that policy, I, of course, would love to speak with you about that. It's pretty straightforward. I reiterate it to the students all the time, and a lot of them do tend to take advantage of that if they didn't get the score that they think accurately reflects how much they know. And just as a gives you an idea, most of their grade, the 70% category here, is the tests, quizzes, and some portions of projects will be included in that. A formative grade would be like a homework grade. Sometimes if they do a project, this would be like the PowerPoint aspect of it. And then the final exam, this is set by the school, that category. So 20%. It's cumulative for each semester. So in December, if everything goes as planned, we will take our final exam based on semester one. What classes like? So I expect everybody to participate. Raising your hand, just speaking Spanish every day, it gives you that opportunity to use the language and hear pronunciation. On task, we use our computers all the time in class, and I'm not looking at their screens all the time necessarily. So having that self-discipline not to be, working on your math homework on OneNote or playing a computer game or something like that. For those 50 minutes, you should be in Spanish class. Using your cell phone as a tool only, so not sitting there texting your friends or using Snapchat. For the most part, it's if your computer's dead and we're playing a game on the computer that you can use your phone for, or if your computer's dead and you need to access Schoology. Speaking of computers, I would hope that they're in there and charged every day, but I know I see some of your students 10th hour and they may have been using it all day. So having a charger with them is important, but just making sure that you have it, and it's if you need to see tech that you're finding that time to do that as well. And then communication. So communicating with me, if they missed an assignment and they do it late, sending me that email and making sure that I know that, I didn't do Cerebrus adjectives number one on time. It's now completed. Then I prompts me to go back and look at that assignment, make sure that that is done, and then I can update the grade. Just making sure that we are in constant communication with each other. Over communication is way better than under communication. Also, they have their Schoology page, so that's another way I communicate with them, not specifically one-on-one, but if a student's absent, that's where they should go to check their homework. There's that whole home page, and we're still learning how to use Schoology, but it will be much easier soon for them. I know this was pretty brief. I went through everything a little bit quickly. I don't want to waste your time with a really long video. So if you have any questions, comments, concerns, anything, please be sure to email me or give me a call.